Hey, it's Carrie Flatlaw here for this week's Friday Fire at carrieflatlaw.com and Remax Real Estate Lethbridge. So we're heading into spring season, spring buying market. The weather's getting nice. Let's hope it stays that way. I was a little traumatized by the minus 35 last February because I was door knocking in that, but that's for another Oprah. Anyway, lots of people are thinking about putting their house on the market. We're getting lots of calls. Buyers are coming out of the woodwork, shaking off the snow, and thinking about buying a home. So, what is the biggest pain point for homeowners when they go to sell their house? Well, it's all about price, right? So, we get a lot of questions about I did it again. I'm not from out east. Why do I say about? We get a lot of questions from homeowners, even if they're not thinking of selling for a while. They're asking, okay, I've been in my house for this long, or I have an older home. What can I do to improve the value of my home? Are certain renovations worthwhile or not? That kind of thing. But then also when they go to list their property, sometimes they're in for a bit of a shocker. Because, and this might be a bit of an Alberta thing, we have a very mobile workforce, is people are moving quite often. And I can't back this up with statistics, but I've been in the business for a very long time now, and it feels like people are moving more often. And that actually creates a challenge in a market like Lethbridge, which is very flat on price. So if you track pricing over the last decade, since the last real estate boom bust, so we had a bubble in the early 2000s, house prices doubled, but in Lethbridge, house prices didn't crash after the doubling. So they went up, there was a very minor correction for a couple of years, and then they kind of stayed there, okay? And then in the years since the real estate bubble, prices have only gone up by very, very small amount every year. So we're lucky in Lethbridge if average home prices are tracking the rate of inflation in Alberta. So we have to be really careful when we say, well, if you buy real estate, it's such a great investment and you can hedge against all these things. Okay, but that depends on your property, what you paid for the property. So if you overpaid, you're going to need longer in the market to make that money back, and then over and above what you paid. And then in a flat market, I mean, your house is now 10 years older than if you bought it in 2010, right? So you have an older house now. Has it had enough market appreciation to help you out when you go to sell? And I think one conversation that needs to be had more often is we need to counter this idea, which was born largely of the real estate bubble, that you're going to profit from your primary residence. Because let's think about this for a minute. Why do you want to own a home? Is it just to make money, like a business venture? Or is it because of a lifestyle choice? You're paying for shelter, comfort, maybe beauty, aesthetic, lifestyle. Maybe you want a big backyard because you have little kids. You want your bedrooms all on the same floor, that kind of thing. Maybe you're older, your mobility's limited. You want a bungalow with less stairs. There's lots of reasons and value in the purchase of a home that aren't just about making a profit. So we have to think about all of these things when we go to price your home, because quite often the challenge with homeowners is, well, I repainted my house and put a high efficiency furnace in it. And I bought it 4 years ago. Okay. But what is the market telling us today when we look at comparables for your home? Because all that matters is what the market is telling us today and what buyers are looking for today. So will a buyer pay you an extra 10 grand because you replaced the shingles on the roof? Probably not, even though it cost you 10 grand. Why? Because the buyer expects that the roof is in good working order. That's sort of the bare minimum, right? So the buyer isn't falling in love with the home because the furnace works. They just hope it works when they get the home inspection, right? So you have to be really careful, and think about this even right after you purchase a home. Be really careful about what you spend money on and what you don't. I've also seen a lot of folks break the bank with very high-end renovations on a house in a location that will not bear that value when you go to put it on the market. So you could spend $50,000 on a kitchen, but based on all the other specs of that property, on the location, the current market, you are not going to get that money back. And you're certainly not going to make a profit. And appraisers talk about this all the time. In fact, there are reports out there where appraisers talk about what will you get back when you spend on these different things in a home. And guess what? It's almost never 100%, especially if you go to sell it the next day when the renos are complete. So, why do homeowners get kind of caught up in this cycle with, I need to make money, I need to make money, I need to make money? Well, of course, our goal is to get you the very most money that the market will bear. Because supply and demand and market conditions are things that we can't control. We can only control how we price, promote, and present your home. Price, promote, and presentation. Those are the things that a very good realtor will give you support and guidance on. The other thing too is time. Time is on your side, right? So if you've only lived in a home for 3 years and maybe you bought it brand new from a builder and paid GST and had to put blinds and landscaping and a deck and air conditioning in it, it's not reasonable in a flat market to think that that home is now going to be worth $20,000 more than what you paid for it. It just doesn't work like that. So it's always about what the market is telling us. Always about market trends, market conditions, supply and demand, and what buyers are expecting to see at that price when they walk into your home. So it's very difficult conversation, but a good realtor and listing agent will have that conversation with you, because the danger of overpricing your home is that you will have a stale listing in 30 to 60 or even 90 days. And now you will actually get less money for your home than if you had priced it to the market. So it's counterintuitive. So I'm really just skimming the surface here of some of the pricing challenges that homeowners are having in a flat market. It's not that we have a bad market, we just have a very stable market in Lethbridge, right? So when commodity prices are swinging up and down like this, and up in Red Deer and Fort McMurray, homeowners are losing their shirts. We're not seeing that as much here, right? So your investment is more stable, sort of like GICs, if you will, but your house is not the stock market, okay? So call or text or visit us at carrieflatlaw.com, 382-7335. If you want to initiate that conversation and we can have an honest discussion about where your home fits into the market and how we can get you the most money. Have a terrific weekend. It's beautiful outside. The sun is shining. Let's hope it sticks around for the rest of February. We'll see you for next Friday Fire. Bye-bye.